guys, normal consumer here. Now, Apple just announced their iPhone 14 line on Wednesday. Now, I've had a few days to think about whether or not I'm going to upgrade my 13 Pro Max to iPhone 14 Pro Max. And because I'm a goofy techie, and after thinking about it for some time, I'm leaning towards saying yes. And it's all thanks to a few new features. But first, as usual, if you learn something new, if I can make you chuckle before the end of this video, if you like how I'm rocking, or if you just like my vibe, then go ahead, like, subscribe. And while you edit, hit the bell icon too to turn those notifications. That way, ding, you know when to upload something new. Now back to it. I guess a little pause in the action. Let me get my fourth wall breaking Deadpool on real quick. If you have an iPhone 13 and you're happy with it, stick with the 13, the base 13. If you need a bigger screen, upgrade to the iPhone 14 Plus. Other than that, the base 13 and base 14 are so close, there's no point just finding the extra cost as trying to get one. If you have a 13 Pro and you're happy with the 13 Pro, stick with the 13 Pro. Unless you want things like the dynamic layout, aka the pill cutout, unless you want the crash detection, unless you want the ability to send an SOS via satellite. If you don't care about any of those things, or 48 megapixels on the camera, if you don't care about any of that, stick with the 13 Pro. And then just wait for the 15 next year. All right, let me reel it back in and get right back into the normal continuity. The dynamic island. And this is the first reason, and it is hella shallow, and I'm okay with that. The iPhone 14 Pro got a new display layout. That in and of itself wasn't going to make me switch. However, the new pill cutout is more than just a new look. The dynamic island, as it's called, is interactive. It will show notification pop-ups for things like music controls, the Face ID pop-up when you're scanning your face, active scores for sports games, lift notifications, and more. I can't believe I'm quoting Apple, but it is a marriage of hardware and software, which I want. The pill expands and changes shape to accommodate what it is showing. Multiple things can even show at the same time. Now, the reason why this is one of the reasons I'm considering giving my money to Apple again is that the rumor mill just said the pill cutout will show things like the green and orange dots when your microphone or camera are in use. So the rumor mill was partially right. It does show notifications and extra information, but it's the way Apple uses animations and how fluid they are, something no other manufacturer is doing. I honestly can say that I don't think I've ever seen this feature on any other smartphone with a punch hole display, which is actually amazing. And it's always the small things. It truly is always the small things that Apple does, which does indeed impress. Satellite communication. Now, I can actually leave it just at that, but obviously I won't. Apple isn't only serious about privacy, but also safety, and they prove that in some creepy ways. They keep on alluding to a lot of accidents, but the 14 Pro and the base 14 have the ability to contact emergency services via satellite. This is pretty big from a safety perspective. I pay almost $400 a month from a Verizon service, and Verizon has one of the best networks in the US, but there's still dead zones in many parts of the country. As a result, if anything were to happen in an area like this, a customer wouldn't be able to call for help. In an event like an accident while hiking, being stranded, or a car accident, more on that later, you need to be able to call for help. The iPhone 14 series lets you point your phone in the direction of a satellite. Don't worry, there is a UI to guide you towards the satellite. And you can use that satellite to send communications to emergency services. Now, I'm not usually out hiking in remote areas, but my wife drives all over Florida for her job. Some areas have trash-ass service, or no service at all. A feature like this would make me feel much better as she's driving from job site to job site. Now, say what you will about Apple, but when a company comes out with something far out like this, it is genuinely extremely useful. Now let's see who the first Android manufacturer will be to implement this on a larger scale. Huawei does, but they're not available everywhere. The last major feature is crash detection. I want to say it first of all that yes, the Google Pixel offers and has offered crash detection for a while now, but we're here to talk about the iPhone having it at this moment. As I said in the last section, my wife drives all over Florida for work. When I'm out and about driving, I constantly am driving defensively. Florida has some of the craziest drivers I have ever seen, hands down. This could be a mix of tourists and locals who just don't give a damn. Either way, driving down here is a Herculean task. Now with the iPhone 14 series, you can feel a bit safer. You see, if you're in an accident, the iPhone 14 can automatically alert emergency services. This feature can literally save lives. Now, I've seen a couple bad wrecks in my time down in Florida, and I hope everything ended well in those situations. Now, in a city like Orlando, there's little chance of an accident will happen where someone doesn't report it. But again, not all of Florida has great service. And some of those back roads are not places that a guy like me would want to stop, let alone have a car accident in. Knowing that if I were in an accident, my iPhone would automatically call emergency services for me helps me feel much better. That doesn't mean I'm okay with getting into an accident though. I will still keep my head on a swivel while driving. Now, there are a couple other things that I like about the iPhone 14 lineup. Believe it or not, Apple removing the SIM card tray is one of them. Some people are going to call me crazy for that. The cameras have been updated as usual and the performance is better. But honestly, I don't really care about those. I feel like the three I pointed out are the ones which stand out more, at least to me. But hey. But that brings us to the end of this video, as usual. If I made you chuckle before the end of this video, if you learned something new, if you like how I'm rocking, or if you just like my vibe, then go ahead, like, subscribe. And while you're at it, hit the bell icon too to turn those notifications that way. Ding. You know when I upload something new. And please leave comments down below, that way I can improve and make better content for you guys. Other than that, this has been Normal Consumer, and I'll see you guys in the next one.